what would your advice be, or how would you handle uh, engaging someone that you had to engage with? This is not somebody that you just see at the checkout line, which you can just say, you know, he's an asshole and just go to your car. Like, how would you engage with somebody you really can't, leave? Like someone like your neighbor or family or coworker or someone that is not on the same wavelength, and you have to they have to be in your life. You just can't go to your car and drive in the other direction. How do you
Sure.
deal with those folks?
Well, the most practical answer that I can give straight away is compassionate communication. Compassion is usually associated with having a feeling of empathy and understanding for the circumstances that the other person is in. So our default is to want to be able to win and be right. But it's almost impossible in the kinds of cases that you're talking about to just say, make your case and have the other party say, oh, okay, well, sure, that's the best idea I've ever heard. It's more like their comeback is going to be, well, wait a minute, you're not hearing me. You're not getting the wisdom that I'm trying to share with you. And this could easily be our spouse, by the way. And so the cultivation of this kind of compassionate communication requires that aspiring to be like the model, uh, whoever that might be, and then being willing to listen. So now there's curiosity, and you've probably heard that whole idea of like, well, you need to walk a mile in my shoes before you start coming back with how I should be like you and agree with you. And so that's all empathy, curiosity, listening. Then in compassionate communication, and by the way, the most powerful contemporary representation of this is called nonviolent communication. And it's the guru of nonviolent communication is Marshall Rosenberg. And Marshall Rosenberg is no longer alive, but wow, I mean, what a guru on the topic that we're talking about right now. And the rules of engagement that were proposed by Marshall Rosenberg is the first thing is you, it's critical to be curious and empathic. And then while another person is speaking, it is not the best idea. In fact, it doesn't even ever work to be spending your intellectual energy calculating how you can make this person wrong. Better to express to that person that you understood what they said. And so whether you agree with it or not doesn't matter. What matters is, did you hear it? And can you actually create a context in which the other person believes that you heard it? And really, the only way to do that is to say, well, now, okay, so, we're debating. I understand we're in a debate context here. But I'm very curious. I want to know how you're thinking and so forth. And so I was listening very, and as you can imagine, when you say to the other person, I was listening carefully to what you just said, that is not an argumentative point of view. And so we're already creating an atmosphere in which there's some potential, shall we say, for that person to believe that I was actually listening. And then I prove that by saying, would it be okay if I restate what you just said to be sure that I got it right? So then the next thing that happens after that, when you say that back to the other person and they say, yeah, thank you, that was amazing. You were actually listening. Then you say, would you be open to me just coming back on that with my perspective. And so now instead of an argument, it's kind of like a discussion, and it could easily inflame because reactive people are predisposed to reactivity, and the whole default network. But it's also possible, and it can be cultivated among parties to actually realize that they are nonviolent communicators or compassionate communicators or equally curious and able to listen. Then reaching conclusions becomes uh, much more likely. But agreeable conclusions is much more likely, but it's also very likely that neither one of these parties is going to emerge as being absolutely correct while the other person was just dumb, stupid, wrong.